Do you feel politically homeless?
Join the club.
Both parties are becoming more tribal, and neither fully represent the values of Jesus. Christians need a path forward that leaves partisanship behind.
That's why we wrote Truth Over Tribe, pledging allegiance to the Lamb, not the donkey or the elephant. Together, we can end tribalism.
Pre-order the book on Amazon, and let's start a movement.
All right, let's hit another question. This one is from Emily. How has Sweet Maria handled all of your adventures for Jesus? In your book, Dream Big, you talk about almost dying of malaria, and the doctor was telling her that you had a 1 in 3 chance of surviving. That must have been terrifying for her. How have you kept your marriage strong?
Yeah. It's all in Maria's corner. What we do is a really practical thing, Emily. If you were watching on Zoom, I wear a mood ring. So I got this thing on Etsy for like $5, like a decade ago. And so we don't talk about where I am. Like, so she doesn't know I'm in Missouri right now. She dropped me off at the airport, but we stopped talking about where I am 20 years ago. We talk about how I am. So I've called her 3 or 4 times today, and she'll say, "What color's your ring?" And I'll say, "Well, it's kind of turquoise color." And she's like, "Well, what does that mean?" And so if we talk about how I am, it makes us feel close. If we talk about where I am, it makes us feel really far apart. And so this whole thing with malaria, I just thought, you don't need to take the malaria meds, when you go to Uganda. And I think I'd gone maybe almost 50 times.
You're a smart guy.
And
what made you not think that you might be?
I don't know. I just had it in my mind that I just wasn't
You're immune.
Yeah. So I got malaria. I didn't realize because I think I went to 7 cities on the way back in the U.S. And I got to the last one. I was in Michigan, and I remember calling Maria. She's like, "What color is your ring?" I'm like, "Black." Like I am. Something is up. And so I ended up in the ICU for a week or two. And awesome part, I lost 30 pounds.
Did you gain it back?
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, but here's the deal. If what we do is we find ways to communicate how we are with some authenticity, instead of having a caricature of who we are. Because if I'm the caricature is Bob the happy guy, Bob everything's going great, Bob don't ruffle any feathers, but underneath that veneer, if there's all this unresolved stuff, to have somebody that you can just talk to it. And so I think that's what we found with Maria. We just talk about how I am often, and more importantly, we talk about how is she. So instead of saying, somebody might ask you guys, like, how's your life working for you? And if somebody asked me, that'd be like, great. But a better question to ask is, Sweet Maria, how is my life working for you? Ask your children, how is my life working for you? And she would say, I love you like I love to breathe. And your life is not working for me right now.
I love that question. How are you versus maybe what are you doing? Like for you, it's where you are. But for people who live in the same town, work, and they're together all the time, it'd be a far more interesting conversation, and probably a conversation that would unite a husband and wife to say, how are you doing and how are you feeling and
what's it feel like to be you,
as opposed to what did you do today, or just the list of things. Maybe those bleed over and one leads to the other. That's fine. But I like that idea of trying to get to the heart where you feel more united, even if you're not together all the time.
Yeah,
it's great advice.
Crazy part at that idea of just being with each other, even Jesus' prayer, John 17, that prayers that they would be one. Now, when we got married, she thought we were going to become her. I don't think so. But we're trying to be one, and we've operated for the last, 25 or 30 years with me bouncing around a lot, and then she's very much the center of the family. She's the core of this thing. So we just talk a lot. Yeah.